Alright guys, I wanted to go over my Goblin Biker deck, Goblin Biker Materiactor deck for the festival. We'll just go and showcase it. It's gone 20-2 in the event. Completely stomped it. In my opinion, it is the best deck you could be playing in the festival. But let's go over card by card. Combo guide, you can refer to a video that I will link in the description for Goblin Biker. It's not too different. I'll actually give you another little replay of it here in a moment off solo mode. But we're running Twin Long Rods number 2, because, I mean, look at him. What else do you want? He's just a normal 3, that's all that matters. We're running 1 Prima Materiactor, 3 of the Effect Veiler, 3 Droll and Lockbird, 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits, 3 Speedroid Terratops, 1 Speedroid Techaton Borg, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 of the Gigadra, for Materiactor, 3 of the Doug Charger, 1 of the Clatters Floater, 1 of the Boom Mock, 1 Mean Merciless, 3 of the Exoraptor, 1 Zeptwing, 3 Grand Entrance, 1 Grand Bash, 3 Meltdowns, 1 Grand Breakout, 3 Infinite Impermanence, 1 Grand Pile Up, and 1 Materiactor Critical. For our extra deck, there's only like 3 cards that matter. I will detail that after, but we do run an MX Saber Invoker, which you can use to get Doug Charger out. We have Phantom Knights of the Break Sword. Well, Break Sword, not the Break Sword. 1 Cicada King, 1 Gossip Shadow, 2 Gigaboros, 1 Ashura King, 1 Armored Torpedo, 2 Big Gabungas. He's the GOAT. These cards don't matter. I'm running 2 of the Troika. It does not matter. You won't really ever use this. It's okay though. We have 2 of the X-Guard. And I would actually drop this Lancer. We would go for this lad instead. Yeah, this is what we would use instead. I would recommend Utopic Ray Lancer instead. I didn't end up using him, but if I was, I would use Utopic Ray instead. This combo is... The combos that you can do with this are quite expansive. Every time you get into an X-Guard, you can guarantee you get to pick up Bigabunga, because you can X-Guard, as long as you have a normal in the graveyard, X-Guard, summon out Zeptwing, add your critical or meltdown, depending on what you want. And then following that, you'll be able to revive one of your normals, which are typically pretty easy to get to. Especially if you happen to have it. If it's not engrave, all you do is just summon Gigadra instead. And you can use his effect to discard and get your normal. And then you can go for Bigabunga from there. But your typical inboard is actually just like a Bigabunga, an X-Guard, and a Gigaboros. If you can throw in a Cicada King or Gossip Shadow alongside it. Really not necessary though. Most decks in this event are not able to handle the Materiactor portion alone. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's actually just show you a quick combo. Let's actually just move over to solo mode right now. And just a reminder for those that aren't aware, we are currently running the Salad Cup number 3 tournament. The signups are available within the Discord. Alright, okay, we got that. So let's go ahead and we'll just pick first, and we will give a demonstration of a hand. Hopefully it gives us a nice playable one to begin with, you know? That, very playable. This is actually very playable. Given what our hand circumstances typically will be, we will lead with the Gigadra. Which you also have Grand Breakout to be able to dodge an Imperm or Veiler, which is quite handy, or we can use it to summon out a Mean Merciless if it gets Ash Blossomed. But we'll pitch the Imperm here. And from there we will summon out our Prima. And then we'll go for a Exagard. With Exagard, we'll be summoning out. Make sure you detach the normal off of him when you do this. So we'll go ahead and use his effect, detach the normal. And yep, we will special summon one onto the field. We will go for the Zeptwing because we have the normal in the graveyard. We'll use his effect to add. You can go for Meltdown or Critical. Sometimes if you felt more confident, you can go for Critical. I feel like we're going to go for Meltdown personally in this one. So we're going to go for Meltdown, and we'll use the secondary effect to revive the normal. Okay, with that on the field, we will go ahead and make ourselves a Bigabunga. We're going to hold off on the Meltdown's effect till later in it, because then we can get some extra cards out of the deck first. We'll use Bigabunga's effect, and with this, let's actually go ahead and let's add the Mean Merciless is what I think we'll go for. Yeah, we're going to add Mean Merciless, because we already have Doug Charger in hand. We can use Doug Charger's effect. We can detach the normal from Bigabunga, because we want that engraved. And from there, we will not use Bigabunga's effect, but we will use Doug Charger's effect. And we will add the Grand Entrance. And from here, what we can actually do is, let's go ahead and use the Grand Breakout here. You can use Grand Breakout instead if you wanted, but we'll use it here to then grab Clatter. Clatter will use his effect to revive back the Doug Charger. And with that alone, this is our Gigaboros. So we can summon him up on here. We can use his effect to detach the Clatter, so that way that's engraved. Which is ideally where we want it. We can add the Exa. From here, we can use our Grand Entrance. Grand Entrance adding our Boommock. And then we will detach from the Gigaboros the Doug Charger. And we will special out the Mean Merciless. In reality, we should actually put this Meltdown down a little bit earlier. Oh, did not mean to do that. That's unfortunate. Now, whatever. Well, it'll be slightly less plays that we'll do here, but that's okay. We'll detach here. It'll be like a little bit less. It's not that big of a deal. Mistakes happen on that front. Alright, so we'll go ahead and slap down our Materiactor. And let's go ahead and make ourselves a... You can go Gossip Shadow or Cicada King. I'm feeling more confident with the Cicada King, so we'll go for Cicada King. And then from here, what we can do is... Because Cicada King only needs to detach one to be able to utilize his effect. So, we actually don't have any other things we could do. We could have made another Xyz had I not made that error. What the... Really? Alright, yeah, anyway, so we'll add another Meltdown, since we wanted to reveal majority Meltdowns. And then what you want to do is just load up your hand traps at the top. And we can then detach one and add one to our hand. We can go for the Exa. Actually, now we're doing this, we can actually get our last Xyz we had mentioned earlier. So we can pitch our other Meltdown. You could put it on the field for an extra material, and more or less, but actually, my bad. It doesn't summon it out. But what we can do, let's keep it in hand for now. And what we'll do is we'll just set it, use his effect, attach himself back to the X guard, and draw a Droll and Lockbird. Yep, that would be fantastic. So this gives us a few disruptions here. Because one big thing we could do is we could eventually add over to the Gigaboros to have his effect live. Bigabunga will have another material on himself, which is just the other Doug Charger, well, one of the other Doug Chargers, which will then allow us to just go ahead and slap one on these. So let's go slap on Gigaboros. We gave them a Droll, so we're not going to want that. So we don't want the Gigaboros to give us a Droll, so we're going to hold off on that front. Yeah, because it's every single time an Xyz monster activates its effect. So they're going for 10 key, which is whatever, you know. We'll hold off. We'll keep the Clatter engraved. Okay, well, he's added a card to hand. We don't need him to do anything else because our cards get set onto our monsters, so we can actually draw a Lockbird here. Yep, so he's doing his effect now. What we can do from here is we could respond. We're going to go for the bounce here. We have obviously several effects that have triggered off that. Well, are available, I should say. Yeah, so we'll add both these back to hand. It's not so much going to negate what he's doing because it wasn't in the graveyard already. But it does give us Doug Charger's effect. Well, Bigabunga, I mean, not Doug Charger. And we're going to use that to grab the effect. Well, the monster. You could use Clatter to detach the normal earlier if you wanted, but I'm not too worried about that. So we did attach an Imperm, and what we'll do is we can attach another because we still have his effect to use. There's an Ash Blossom there now. So in theory, if you're like, okay, well, I could use an Ash now. We can just do this, pop it to hand. Now we have an Ash Blossom in hand. Now the effect's live again. Now we can just slap on another card here. It's just a lot of stuff you can end up doing with this deck as a whole, which is really enjoyable. I mean, of course, we can just attach our, I believe it's our last Doug Charger. Yeah, our last Doug Charger in deck. And because of that, we can then slap another card onto the X guard. And nope, his activation is now live and will give us a Grand Bash. Of course, we have Terror Top now, so we have a loaded hand, and we didn't even use something like Maxi or Molcharm even. So we can use his effect, attach it to the Gigaboros. Oh, there's a critical, so now we have an Omni. And we could even use his effect to detach to get the normal in the grave. We can do this to detach and then add another Materiactor spell trap to hand. But we can also just use this effect here. So let's go bing, bing, bing. Oh, we did get a meltdown, so we hit the Materiactor meltdown, which we could add that, or the X of it will add the meltdown. Because the meltdown's not once, like a hard once per turn. You can get several of them off at once. So pretty fucking nice for that. Yep, and we'll use this and we'll add to our Grand Bash. We could have used Bigabonga's effect there, admittedly. But what we'll do is we'll just set this, and of course we have our soft, what are we gonna call it? Our little version of a Slifer here. Let's go ahead and we will use Grand Bash. Well, Grand Entrance, I mean. We already did Grand Bash. And we will detach the Doug Charger. And we will add the Clatter to hand. Mainly because we have OTK power by a mile at this point. So we'll attach that. Meltdown's going to activate its effect. We're going to attach there. So we have an Imperm we could add to hand now. And then what we'll do here is we will pitch this. Target our Gigaboros. Normal Clatter. And Clatter's effect will activate, and it will add the Doug Charger onto the field. And we will grab the Grand Pile Up. Just for context, this is what our board looks like if we really wanted to. Like, we're loaded. Granted, we wouldn't want to necessarily do this because we'd lose attack, but I mean, when our attack's 15,000 damage, not a whole lot of opponents doing in this circumstance. So, of course, make sure you swing with the low. You know, don't want to get Gores hitting you. But then we'll swing over with Gigaboros. Kind of get the general gist of the flow of the deck. I hope you guys enjoy. We have the replays coming up now. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone. I love y'all. And remember, Salad Cup tournament's coming up. Hope to see you there.